So good afternoon from Lomé, the capital of Togo in Western Africa. First of all, we apologize. We tried to go live on Facebook, but unfortunately the internet connection here is not fast enough. So as you might have heard before, Togo has been facing serious clashes and demonstrations over the past month. Since August last year, representatives of the opposition parties went on the streets. They actually asked to go back to the old constitution of the country for the president. But their main demand is basically for the president to limit his presidency to 2 terms. So you might want to recall that the same family here in Togo has been running the country for already 50 years. Now the current president is Faure. He's serving his 3rd term right now. He took over from his father, installed by the military, later on confirmed by controversial elections. So a lot of people here are saying his time is over. The family business has been on for too long. They want to change, and they do not want to wait for the next elections to happen. So since the demonstrations happened in August and over the past month, the government showed some interest in moving to the direction of the opposition. They offered they would accept to return to the old constitution, and they would accept the 2-term limit for the president, but not starting from when the president Faure started his terms, but from the next election. So that would basically allow the president to run 2 more times. And this is something they are not too happy with. Early this year, the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, decided to mediate in this crisis and talk to both sides. But so far there has been no outcome. Because of the mediation process, the opposition decided to stop demonstrations for about a month. This week they decided to start it again. First time was on Wednesday, but the government said, no, you're not allowed to demonstrate, you're banned to demonstrate. And since Wednesday there's heavy police presence and military presence off the streets, not only in the capital Lomé, but also in other cities. And Wednesday the police made a lot of arrests. People were taken who tried to protest. Thursday, therefore, the opposition people decided not to demonstrate. They asked their supporters to stay calm for the moment. But today, Saturday, they scheduled another protest. They said it will be much bigger than before. But you can also see a much heavier police and military presence on the streets right now. We are right now in front of the house of one of the major opposition parties in the country. Let me show you here, the CDPA, where representatives of the 14 opposition parties are meeting currently. And what you might be able to see over here is military presence, heavy military presence. Just 5 minutes ago, they started shooting tear gas because, according to them, close to the house, some supporters were gathering. From what I have seen, it was really a small amount of people, maybe 20, 30. There was no visible demonstration. People were not shouting something or doing anything. But the military was just teaming up and started to shoot tear gas and then started to follow people, trying to arrest them. We haven't seen any arrests right here, but what we have seen was arrests earlier inside the town. As I said, there's no massive protest, anything like that, but there are small groups of people moving around. Some of them started blocking the streets. They put stones and barriers on the streets so cars couldn't pass. And we talked to some of those young people who did that, and they said, well, if they do not allow us to protest peacefully, this is what they get in exchange. This is our only way to make our voices heard. And then we followed some of the policemen who were basically going from house to house partwise, looking for those protesters who then tried to run away. We saw them storming into one abandoned building, taking 2 people out, arresting them. The people said, we didn't do anything, we were just here, and suddenly the police came and they were taken along on police trucks. So of course there's a certain fear amongst people who are demonstrating, because they are fearing that they will just be taken away, they will end up in prison. And there's a number of people who have been in prison for weeks, sometimes even months. Nobody knows why. There was no court hearing or anything like that. So people are really scared of being arrested here. So let us just have a little walk and see what happens now. Because you can see on this one corner of the street there's police. Over here at this petrol station, the military people. Right now it doesn't seem as if they're planning to shoot tear gas once again. Seems they're driving off, but they've been doing that for a while now, driving around the building of this political party here. You see a bunch of journalists here observing the situation. Even for them it's a difficult situation, because it is not so clear whether the military are friendly or hostile to the press representatives here. You can see a certain fear amongst our colleagues here. Always when they start moving, they also have to run. Because this is also something that representatives of the opposition have been complaining about, saying that there's no democracy here, there's no right to express themselves. Although things have improved since the death of the former president and when the son took over, a lot of people say, well, there are slight improvements in the freedom of speech, but they are far away from a real democracy, according to some representatives of the opposition here. We also talked to the Minister of Communication yesterday, and he said, well, the protesters knows that they are not allowed to go on the streets. And he says they're doing an illegal action by doing so. He advised them to go to the courts, to ask the court for a decision for them to go demonstrate again. Until that is not done, the security forces will keep on blocking those demonstrations. But the opposition people, on the other hand, keep on saying that they cannot expect a fair court hearing. So let us move inside the building of the opposition party here. Let's try to see if we can find one of their representatives to talk to us about what's going on here. So this is the lady we hopefully can talk to now.
Because after, let's say, almost two months of negotiating, we can notice that the government looks like not taking in account our concerns. What we are asking for, you know that we are asking for the return to our constitution, which we voted for in 1992. And we want it because the constitution puts a limit to the number of terms that a president can have. And our current president is having the third term, which is not conform to what was said in the Constitution. So we want the Constitution to be back so that we can solve this issue, so that we can get a chance to change the regime. You know that we have had the same regime for more than 50 years, and it's too much. It's too much. But we started to discuss, and we could see that the governmental delegation is reacting as if they don't care at all about our demands. And they said that the current head of state will not leave now, but they will also be able to go to be a candidate for the election in 2020. And we cannot accept this at all.
There's some people here still expressing their anger, and these are the images we want to leave you with for now. They still developing, but for now this is all from our update here at DW Africa on Facebook. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, sorry that we couldn't do Facebook Live, the connection was not good enough, but we just recorded this one here and tried to upload it right afterwards. Have a good day, bye.